Hello, and welcome to Plastic Surgery Tales, the podcast about plastic surgery. Today, we're going to share the intimate and empowering stories of those who have chosen to take this journey. In each episode, you'll hear firsthand the remarkable journeys of our patients, but not just the patients. We're going to be sitting down with some of the world-renowned plastic surgeons who have helped us change these lives. Welcome to Plastic Surgery Tales. I'm your host, Holiday the Golden Child. Today, we're taking a little twist and turn from sitting with the doctors to actually sitting with some unsung heroes that are intricate piece of the plastic surgery world. We're here with Roxana, one of our plastic surgery coordinators. And basically, you help guide the patient through an easy breezy process to leading up to the day of surgery and surprisingly afterwards. Yeah. You basically help the doctors tremendously. Tremendously. I know you make their lives a lot easier. Let's talk about your pivotal role, one tale at a time. Can you tell me the typical flow of a consultation? Like what that day and that process looks like?
So, for example, patient is interested in having a procedure. So you can have a consultation two ways. So for some patients, it's easier to make it here in person because they are local. So
Right.
Some patients are not from here. Patients come from all over the place. I have patients from Australia,
Wow. And do you have somebody that can dissect all those languages?
We have different ways of communicating with patients. So, it's important for the patient to feel that this is an easy process for them. So, yeah, I've had patients that speak Portuguese.
Okay.
So, so basically they can do either in person or they can also do it virtually over the phone. In person, you would make an appointment. You can choose a doctor that you're interested in having your surgery with, and we can set up an appointment so you can see them personally. They evaluate you personally. You can ask as many questions as you'd like. You can also do virtual. So I think that's something that a lot of patients opt for because it's a lot less time consuming and the information all gets transferred to the surgeon. So it's basically the same. There are a lot of patients that are calling in from California, from Canada. So, we take their information. We make sure that we ask all of the important questions that the surgeon would ask you if you are here in person, because this is information that's vital for the doctor to understand and see if you're a good candidate for the procedure. So height, weight, everything. Medical history.
That gets me into my next question. How can a patient prepare for the initial consultation?
Okay, so definitely if it's virtually, we are going to ask for pictures. So we do ask for a full medical questionnaire. We fill out a whole medical questionnaire, and then we ask for patients to take pictures. Depending on the area that you're interested in, we do ask you to take some photos because the doctors want to be able to see and evaluate. They want to see what procedure you're a good candidate for.
Don't worry, they're not doing anything with the pictures.
No, definitely not. It's an end-to-end encrypted system. So it goes straight to your patient portal, but it's important for the doctors to be able to see you if you're not here personally. So.
Right. I love that. What information should a patient submit to the to be considered? You said there's a questionnaire. What are some things that questionnaire entails?
So, for example, it's very important to disclose if you're a smoker. That's something that nicotine can affect your procedure. We need you to stop smoking prior to your surgery. So that's valuable information that we provide during the process of the evaluation. We also want to make sure that, for example, if you're taking any medications, if you have any history of any type of surgeries. So that's all in the medical questionnaire. It's a quick process, but we want to make sure we have the correct information because you're having plastic surgery. You're having a cosmetic procedure.
Right. Tobacco has been the number one conversation these last few days that I have been here. Everyone that I sit down with has made it a priority to stress. I think the number one on the list, am I correct, Fernando? Is tobacco. That's that's just been the number one conversation that don't smoke.
No, it's important. And even after the procedure, that's something that you have to be mindful about. So
What are some common concerns and questions patients have during consultations? Like, I know for me, I live in New York, so virtual is always great, And so when you get to do that little Zoom call with the doctor trying to get everything in, and they move fast.
Yeah.
He's like, do, 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 do. This is it, this is that. You're like, wait, doc. What else? One of my questions were, are you sure you're gonna be able to make me look like this?
So, of course, the doctors are always going to try their best, based on the foundation of your body. I think that a lot of patients ask if they can bring in wish pictures, or like they'll show the doctor a wish picture. Of course, he's going to always try to do the best for your foundation, for your torso, for the shape of your body, for your breasts. So.
Right. What are some common concerns that most patients may have when it comes to like getting this consultation? Like, what are some concerns, some worries, some fears, some wish picks, all these things like that are just common for people to say, okay, these are like the top 5 questions that I always get asked. Like, I'm just ready at this point.
So for me, I feel like patients always ask what labs or what exams they need to do before the surgery. We do have a department that specifically works with each surgeon, preparing patients and helping them get through their labs. So I think that that's something that a lot of patients do ask. Also, recovery. Recovery really depends a lot on what procedure you're having. It also depends, for example, what do you do for work? So, I've had patients that deliver mail. I've had patients that are teachers that prefer to have their procedure during, the time where children are off school, like maybe in the summer, maybe sometime in the winter if they have a break.
Right.
So it just, it varies, but we are always available to answer any questions. And there's different departments to help patients throughout the process.
We talked about during the consultation process, especially when it is virtual, how important the photos are. Can you kind of go into how the photography plays a role in the consultation process?
Oh, yes, of course. So, for example, if you are having a breast procedure, the doctors would recommend for you to take your photos standing up straight. You want to make sure your photo's taken in a straight angle and that your arms are down. If you place your arms up, it may lift your breasts and you may have...
Changes the position of
course.
them.
So we provide the necessary.
Right.
Necessary.
Yes.
We'll guide you. We'll tell you how to take your photos. It's always important to get a couple of different angles. And so you want to make sure you give the doctor like a front angle, side angle,
back angle.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you assist the patients in understanding the potential risk and benefits? I'm sure patients are like, yeah, I want to do this, but I'm scared that I'm not going to wake up, or I'm scared that, I probably couldn't be a patient coordinator because I'm just going to cut it so raw. I'm like, there's better ways for you to die. Okay.
No.
This is not it. There's better ways for you to die. I know that might not be the most empathetic response.
I know.
So how do you help these women, these men, coming here saying, listen, I'm scared, but I want to do it?
So there's a process, and definitely we make sure that we do plenty of exams prior to the procedure. There's instructions that we'll provide you, what to do, what not to do 30 days before your surgery. We don't want you drinking, smoking. We want to make sure that, you're in good health. We also can let you know, like, what supplements you may take or vitamins to also have, good ranges for your procedure. You want to make sure you're in good health.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you're healthy, that you're active, that, you have a good BMI. The BMI is also something super important. So, of course,
the metric system for the doctors to follow, determining if you are a good candidate. Initially,
a good candidate for the procedure.
A good candidate for the procedure.
Yeah.
And there's different doctors for different BMIs on the scale, correct?
Yes, of course there is.
So there's certain doctors who say, listen, we don't take anybody over this because my specialty is this size to this size.
Exactly.
And I love that you guys kind of have different doctors. They're all great doctors, but I love how everyone has like their specialty and what they like to do. It's not about, I guess it's not so much about what you're good at. It's more of this passion. And I love, like, when I've sat down with some of the doctors, they have a passion of just creating and giving these patients exactly what they want.
Yeah.
It's almost like I can't sleep at night if I don't achieve. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are really, I mean, I always thought they took their job serious.
They do.
Yes, they take the job very
So-
serious. But when it comes to like trying to achieve this look for the patient, they really, really study the patient and
Yes.
really, try to give them the best.
They go above and beyond.
Above and beyond. So like, can you discuss the importance of like the recovery expectations under the consultation?
Yeah. Wait, repeat it again?
Can you discuss the recovery process that you explain to the patients as far as at the consultation? What can they expect as far as the recovery process after surgery? What are you telling them to bring? What are you telling them to do?
Oh, yeah. I did want to mention. Okay, so when it comes to letting the patient know about how their recovery is going to be, it's always going to depend on the procedure. Every procedure has a little bit of a different recovery.
Right.
But we do send out a package. It's a pre-op and welcome package. So the welcome package has a lot of information. So if you actually take a look at it, it even has like a little shopping list of things that you can purchase in your local pharmacy, in your local dollar store. And there are things that are going to help you get through your recovery, at least for the time that we need you to be here in Miami. And this applies to patients that are coming out of state. So either way, it works for
in-state, out-of-state, out of country. You're right. Okay.
But you want to take a look at the package
right.
when, if
Please
you're home.
read. This is her saying it. She has a lot nicer, softer tone. So I'm going to try it your way, Roxana. Please read all the information that the patient coordinator sent you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You think I delivered that well?
Yes,
okay.
I think you did.
Cool. So, let's talk about the financing part of it, because we're making all these plans. We have this consultation. The consultation is free. We're like, okay, let's do it.
You're getting excited.
Yeah, we're ready to book.
Okay.
What happens? What are you doing to guide these patients towards understanding the financial aspects of the procedure?
Okay,
because it ain't cheap.
But you know what? I think that it's super affordable.
But not cheap.
I think that it's super affordable, and there are many different options that the patient can choose from when it comes to picking their source of finance to fund their procedure.
This is why, I promote financial literacy, right? So I have this slogan that says, bad bitch, good credit.
Okay.
Yeah, I said it. So if you don't got the money,
you have to have the credit.
You have to have the credit and get you some care credit, right?
Care credit, Alpheon, United Medical Credit. So they're here to help you. So it's actually a very, it's a good process. So you can choose. You can either pay for your procedure out of pocket, and you can pay that in, certain amounts, in small amounts, and increments. Yeah.
So how many increments do they have to pay this thing off? And what's the time frame?
As many as you like.
As many as you like. And then up until the day of the surgery?
Up until about 30 days to 2 weeks before your procedure, which is when your procedure should be paid in full, because you're already thinking about, making it here and, going through your procedure. But in reality, you can choose either to finance your procedure through Alpheon, Care Credit, United Medical Credit. You can also pay for it out of pocket, as we mentioned. You can use credit cards if you don't want to apply to a financing company.
Right. Get your credit right, ladies.
I think that's important.
Get your credit right.
But I feel like patients should have kind of an idea or a budget of what their procedure is going to be.
Yeah.
And there are always...
And listen, this is the part that we don't discuss, guys. It's not just paying for the surgery. I see too many times girls just afford the surgery. Ladies, whatever you pay for the surgery, make sure you have that plus some for after the surgery.
Of course.
Because you're going to need to take care of those massages. Whatever you're trying to customize your body to be, those massages, those fajas, the oils, the things that you need to heal the best, right?
Of course.
You need to invest into these things. An investment, ROI, return on your investment. You have invested into this body. We want a return on it, but we can't get the return until we finish the investment. The investment starts after the surgery, the post-op care.
Yeah.
The post-op care.
I think that's just as important. So you
50%
have to have...
surgery, 50% post-op. I keep telling them this. This is what it is. How important is the post-op care? I'm gonna let Roxana tell you, our patient coordinator.
Super important. So, for example, if you're having multiple areas of liposuction, you want to make sure you massage those areas, and you want to make sure you get plenty of massages.
Plenty. When does it end? When do the massages end? I'm going to answer this question for you. Never.
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 There's kind of like a minimum. It depends a little bit. Everybody's different. But I would recommend, the doctors are always going to let you know a certain amount a certain amount of massages, like for example, 15 to 30 massages. But if you can do more massages, definitely I've seen in, the result of patients, it gives a better result.
I feel like if you had lipo or any of these surgeries, at least a minimum. I know. See, people like to take when people give them the 3-month mark and they're like, oh, well, I did 3 months.
It's over.
And it's over. I don't have to wear the faja anymore. I don't need the massages. And I'm wondering why my stomach is bubbling up like hot boiling soup.
Yep.
And I'm like, you need more massages. Listen, Roxana. At Plastic Surgery Tales, I don't want you to give me the cookie cutter answers. We are here to answer those questions that are going unanswered. And we have so many people who we're not having enough of these conversations.
Yeah.
Where it's very basic, notebook, black and white. This is what you do, this is what you don't do. But we want the tea, sis.
Of course.
We want the tea. And just too many times where you guys are like, okay, well, it says on the paper, I only need 3 months, so this is all I'm going to do. No, everybody's body's different. Everybody heals differently. Go get those massages. Personally, for me, I never stop them. You may stop how close together you do them. So maybe for the first year, maybe in the first 3 months, I'm doing them every other day. Then as time goes on, I might switch to once a week. And then as time goes on, I might switch to 3 times a month. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And this just keeps the body used to that shape, used to that, because let's just keep it 100. After a while, you're not wearing the faja, you're not keeping up on a diet, you're not keeping up on a certain lifestyle, because plastic surgery is a lifestyle.
I think so.
You're going to just get wide again.
I don't know about wide, but
well, for me,
post-op definitely, hands down, is important.
This is how I know that I'm losing my shape, when the faja is not fitting right.
Okay.
That's like my metric system. It's like if I go try on that faja and it's not sliding on the way I said, God damn it. I done gained about 10, 20. We got to get down so we can get back into our body.
10, 20 is a lot. It can happen and you don't even notice.
You don't even know. It's easier to put it on than it is to get it off. Yeah. So we talked about earlier, when those nude pictures have to get sent. But those are not the only high sensitive information of content of emails and messages you're going to get. You're getting people's credit card information. You're getting their address. How do you ensure the privacy and confidentiality of these patients that are sending you this information?
So to touch back on the pictures, it can be from your neck down. We're going to see you here personally, but if you feel uncomfortable, you can take your photo from your neck down. Now, when it comes to patient confidentiality, like for example, we do handle medical information. We have your medical history. These are things that are important for the process of the procedure for the doctors to be able to perform your surgery. So our system is completely secure. We follow HIPAA laws to the T. So everything is completely end-to-end secure. So there's no concern about that.
There's no concern.
No.
These, like I said, Roxana, we're having these conversations that people don't have. And there's questions that people want answers to. And there's no dumb question. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. So people want to know, like, what's happening with my medical information? What's happening when I send these pictures? What's happening when I send...
And they do ask.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But we want to give it to the masses of people and let them know who can't get here, who are not in our doors yet, who are not at the consultation process yet. Guys, we're going to take care of you here. Plastic Surgery Tales, we're not leaving anything out. This is going to be the go-to platform for everybody. And guys, listen, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys get in the comments. If you have any questions for Roxana, our patient coordinator, our plastic surgery patient coordinator, please leave us some messages so we can, because we're going to get back. We're coming back here. I'm going to see you again. Okay. And we're going to have some more questions, So Are there any additional tips or advice you would give to a patient preparing for their consultation?
Okay, so I would say, so it's very important when you're planning to have a plastic surgery procedure for you to have a support team.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that you have, somebody that is not only going to be taking care of you during the procedure, but also, kind of has your back. I think that's something important.
Yes.
I think that's something that a lot of patients don't understand. So you want to make sure a hubby is supportive or, family members, friends, so that you have somebody to
hubby, boyfriend, big daddy, sugar daddy, whoever's paying for the surgery. Grandma,
they have to be on board.
They got to be on board. Yeah. The mailman, we're not judging you. Listen.
It could be the mailman.
Whomever it is, your best friend, your sister, any significant other, friend, or whomever, make sure that they are there to support you fully and give you that love, give you that time, and just like we said, the overall support is and you need
fundamental.
Someone who understands retains information really well, because when you come out of surgery, you're going to be in a different planet, and you need someone who understands. Okay, gotta get my medicine. We gotta, I got the back seat set up for you, and I understand your pain.
Then someone to have your back.
Yeah, they know not to have a long conversation with you on the ride. Just shut up, give me the drugs, and get me home.
Get me home. Yeah.
Speaking of travel and being comfortable in the car, and how do you prepare your international patients?
Okay, so you're definitely gonna need some type of strategy. You're traveling back. Some patients go back, whether it's in a rent-a-car or they bring their own vehicles. A lot of patients also travel back. Like they actually, take a plane, go back home. You can so there's different positions that you can use to go back. And there's also patients that purchase different accessories that they can use to be comfortable for the travel back.
What are some of those accessories?
So for example, you can use a BBL pillow. There are patients that purchase other kinds of, they've gotten creative.
Yes.
There's a lot of.
Yes. And we'll get to that, but the essential.
I would say the BBL pillow.
The BBL pillow.
Yeah.
And so what about those long flights?
Well, the long flights, I do have patients that have told me that they would prefer to kind of move around a bit. Like once you're already, up in the air, you can kind of move around a little bit, which is going to do you good. Either way, you're not going to be going back home right away. So we want to make sure that you stay for a little bit.
Do you recommend the international patients to stay longer than the local patients, or someone like myself who's staying only 2-3 hours away?
I think international patients should stay a little longer. The doctors will advise you. They'll let you know.
I come from New York when I come and get my work and to Miami, and I usually stay a minimum of 5 days. So I personally would think someone who's going to get on a flight that's way more than 2-3 hours, I definitely think you should stay in Miami for at least, if you can afford it, 2 weeks.
I think so.
I definitely think 2 weeks is a good time. You have a week to get back to your normal self. And then you have another week that if there's any complications, any reason to see the doctor before you or get on that flight, you're all together and you kind of got your motion back in 2 weeks, You
have a whole other week to recover.
You have a whole other week to recover. The international patients, are they usually the ones who are in a rush to leave?
No, not really. I feel like a lot of international patients, we also provide them the information. So once we kind of get a feel that, you're kind of not from the States and, else you're from elsewhere,
right,
we start providing you the information. But I feel like these patients already kind of know.
They already kind of know.
At least in my experience. So I've had patients tell me where, hey, no, it's okay. I know that the recommended time is such and such. Like, for example, about 7 to 10 days, but I understand that I'm from,
right,
my plane trip is going to be hours, like 14 hours. So they do stay. They stay a little longer. They know.
Get that first class.
I think that would be nice.
Yes, get that first class. What is one of your most memorable pep talks that you've had to a nervous patient? That you had with a nervous patient?
This is something you're doing for yourself. So whether you're a mom, you've taken care of your children, you've taken care of your family, you worry so much. Like us as women, we're very motherly. So even for women that don't have children, like, we kind of take care of our family. We're kind of like always trying to organize everything. So this is something that you're doing nice for yourself. So it is a very positive experience. So it's something that you should see with positive eyes. You should be happy about. So of course the nerves are always going to be, normal. That's something that just comes naturally. But, this is something for yourself. So be happy for yourself.
I love that pep talk so much that I know we have a lot of bilingual patients. Can you like translate that? Because I feel like it would sound so pretty in Spanish. Like, because it was so sentimental in English that I know, like, when you say things in Spanish, it's like, mon amor. Like, give it to me.
Ok, por ejemplo, para las pacientes que sienten un poquitico de nervios antes del procedimiento, ¿no? Yo les diría que este es tu momento para hacer algo significativo para ti, que te sientas bien y... She said, So, este sería un buen momento para que te realices el procedimiento que estás deseando realizarte, para que puedas pensar en ti, ya que piensas tanto en los demás.
Period.
Thank you.
And ladies, basically what she's saying is do it for you.
Yeah.
Not for a man, not to compete, not to do it for you. This has to be something that you want to do because ultimately, if you're going to maintain it, if it's going to be a lifestyle change, if it's going to be something that you're adapting into your day-to-day world now, it definitely has to be for you. Roxana, I love sitting. I don't even want to let you go, but I know you're so busy. Just my last question. What's the quirkiest question a person has asked you during their pre-op consultation?
Okay. So, believe it or not, I've had patients ask me,
for your number?
No, not for my number.
Oh, okay.
But, okay. If during their procedure, they can use like somebody else's fat to be transferred back to them.
That is how you, but listen, I believe.
And it's understandable.
Yeah, no, listen, I get DMs and say, listen, because I'll be like, my butt is huge, right? And then like, well, you can give me some. I'm going into a surgery. You don't need that much. How can we make this happen? I'm like, I don't know if that's possible, babe.
I understand that it can be a valid question, but I just thought it was funny. It was her husband, because her husband had a big old belly. She had already had procedures before. She wanted to have more fat.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I know, right? I think I'd have an amazing BBL if I use my man's fat. I hope he's not watching the podcast.
And it's almost winter time, so we know we love a little belly. We don't discriminate. We like you with the belly. Mm-hmm. And ideally, that would be in a perfect world, that would be amazing.
I think so.
Because guys would get the benefit of it too. See, we are the ones who get the benefit of the BBL, and then they're scared we're going to leave them. Yeah. I love that. Roxana. You know the song Roxanne? Yeah.
Roxanne.
Okay. Roxana, our patient plastic surgery coordinator. We are here with you. We are at Plastic Surgery Tales. Tell them where you're at Plastic Surgery. What? We're going to work on it. Don't worry. I'm your host, Holiday the Golden Child.
I'll be better next time.
Yes. No, you were great. I'm your host, Holiday the Golden Child. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Listen, guys, we're sitting down. We're spilling the tea. We're answering those questions. We're answering all the things that you guys want answers to. Why? Because we love you. Stay tuned. We have so much more to come. So much more tea to spill and so much more gems to give. We love you guys.